Well, there's something going on. There's the Popo again. Ironically, I'm watching Duck the Bounty Hunter. Or Dog, Duck, whatever his name is. Duck the Bounty Hunter. What is going on here? We got like a little bit of police presence, I guess. They're just sitting there. In a well-marked vehicle that says Popo. You know, the Russian word for police is Poposky. Poposky. Now, that's funny. Come on now. I can't see if he's in there, in the vehicle. He might have stepped out to talk to somebody. Again, this is the second time in like maybe 2 hours, 3 hours maybe. What is going on in this block? I'm starting to think I made a major mistake moving onto this. I mean, this section used to be not bad, but like, you know, you still had to keep your head on a swivel, but it's anywhere in Pottstown. Looks like he's sitting in the car. I can't tell. I see an elbow. Looks like he's on the phone or something. Or he has his elbow up, just sitting there looking. Good. I'm glad. I'm super glad. We need that. He should sit there his whole shift, eat donuts, drink coffee, and just observe. You know? It quiets up a neighborhood real fast. All the cucarachas scatter like somebody sprayed some Raid on them. All the drug dealers drug deal somewhere else. Praise God for the Popo, huh? The Poposki. The Poposki. Not that I feel any safer. I mean, a sniper could take me out from the top of the building if they really wanted to. Not giving anybody any ideas, but yeah, higher ground. Death from above. Hopefully this will keep the crackheads, the hookers, and the drug dealers off the corner for a minute. Maybe they're realizing that this is a troubled section. I don't know. Wonder if they're watching my videos. I don't know that either. Because I film what I can here, and it's not to be a nosy neighbor or a Karen or a monkey wrench in the system. It's just, you know what I mean? I live here. This is a residence. It's not a Hells Angels clubhouse. It's not a crack den or a shooting gallery. Go home. You know, you all have home. Don't you have homes? That reminds me of Caddyshack, the movie. What was his name? I forget the guy's name, but he was a good actor. And he played Judge Schmales on Caddyshack. Don't you have homes? They were sitting there playing cards at a country club. And it's true. I mean, you could be off doing 100 other things. Productive things, or even recreational things, you know? Swinging out a rope swing tire, or, you know what I mean? Go do something. Hanging out here between an Aki store and a head shop. Don't you have any ambitions? Don't you have homes? The community college is that way. Go learn how to read. A mind is a terrible thing. It shouldn't be wasted. Go better your position, your life, you know? Educate yourself. And you won't need to deal drugs or whatever it is you're into criminally. Yeah, no, I mean, all jokes aside, I'm glad that they're doing this. This is exactly what this little section here needed. Police presence. You know? I wish they would do it on the weekends and at night. That's when it really, the F-tartery activates, you know? Like superpowers. Form of an a-hole. Shape of an F-tard. And they all come out. So they have those little power rings on and they all get activated and they all come out and you smell the weed up and down the block. You just hear them. You can just, you know what I mean? I mean, what happened to going to ball games and tailgate parties? And, you know, the Reading Phillies play, Phillies baseball team, I don't know if they're playing yet or not. I don't know if it's in season. But, I mean, there's just so much to do. You got the Kimmel Center down in Philly. You got South Street. You got New Hope. We used to take a drive up there. Best cheesecake I ever had was up in New Hope. And there's Hershey's Park. There's, up in Allentown. You can go up there and, they got Hershey's this, Hershey's that, with their own little roller coaster. I mean, there's so much, you could be off doing. You got a bowling alley about 4 to 5 miles down the road. You could drive to and go bowling. What's this? His dealer pulling up? Is he going to go up to the cop or what? What's he doing here? Maybe the cop ordered out DoorDash. Uh-oh, he's pointing. Oh, maybe he called him. So yeah, I mean, instead of being called here, this is what they call preventative medicine. If you're already here, you don't need to be called here. And if you're already here, the roaches scatter and they go somewhere else to create their drama and trauma. Who is this guy? Why is he talking to the popo? Let me see that car. Well, if that's an undercover car, they're getting really cheap on their funds there for undercover vehicles. I mean, it is a perfect vehicle. Nobody would suspect that's an undercover vehicle. I doubt you could catch anybody in it, though. They'd outrun you, unless he's got something soupy in it. Souped up. Like Speed Buggy or what was that other one? Herbie the Love Bug, you know what I mean? Something like that. Uh-oh, who's that now? Did he get out of the car? Where'd that person come from? So yeah, in a way, I am so glad that they're making this effort to do this. Elderly people and disabled people are usually targets. You know what I mean? Everybody thinks they're weak until you meet the wrong one. That was a boxer, and he's 79, and he still kicks your butt. I've seen videos like that on YouTube. Mess with the wrong old guy. Got their clock clean, But they target. You're made a mark just by being disabled. They automatically think you're weak, and they will attack like piranha. So you got to watch. So I'm a little glad that they're in the area because there is a lot of disabled people here. That whole building right there is full of them. There's a building across the street on my side that's full of disabled people, wheelchairs, walkers. So yeah, apparently they must be looking for something or someone or something happened, and they're, I guess, keeping an eye. And all I gotta say is PTL, praise the Lord. Let them sit here. I hope they stay until dark, well after. Who's that? Everybody's like, I guess that's all the snitches. Let me see who this is now through my binoculars. Looks like a female. It's probably one of the neighborhood workers. Not to disrespect nobody. I don't know. I'm merely speculating. I don't know who she is. She could have been one of the ones that were in the domestic or whatever happened. I don't know. She could have got robbed. I don't know. Anything could have happened in this section of town here. It used to be bad. If you cross the street over to that building and go straight down, you'll run into the library, then eventually the VFW. Behind the VFW, there's an alleyway that runs from where the library building starts, right over there. There's the library, and it runs the whole length all the way down to Little Italy, a restaurant and bar. And it's pretty long. And there was a lot of pistol whippings, robberies, nefarious crap going on there. That used to be the bad section. You knew not to travel in that alleyway without, protective gear on or something, to swing at somebody. An alley apple, a brick, something, rock. But, and it was only occasional. It wasn't, like every week. But they would try to call you over into an alcove, and then they try to rob you. If you were dumb enough to, walk over there. Stuff like that would happen. But now, shit is everywhere. You really got to be on your game. Even walking to the store, it's just like... I personally believe I was followed twice to Redner's, and it's only right down the street. What they wanted, I don't know, but they were either sizing me up or they were wondering who I was. Like, was I a cop, a sheriff, or something like that, undercover? Because I do wear a vest that's similar to it's actually a hunting vest, but in reality, it's a ranger vest. It's a military ranger vest, and it has a lot of pockets, and it has shotgun shell holders on it, and a back part where you could, like, if you shot a rabbit hunting, you could put the rabbit in the pouch in the back of it. But it is a ranger's vest, and it has zipper compartments and stuff like that. So that's why I use it, because I carried all kinds of crap with me before I became seriously disabled. I used to carry a GoPro with me and all the accessories, my phone, and the cords with it, and on and on and on. Then I bought a chest rig to carry the camera stuff in, and that looked goofy, and you even looked more like a cop, so I did away with that. I didn't carry that in the street too much. But it was just to, clip my GoPro on so I could film whatever I was filming at the time. Then I bought a camera, what do they call them? A selfie stick. And that just messed my phone up. So I stopped using that. And they were cheap. They kept breaking, so I did away with that. They were a tripod stand, but you could also, double it as a selfie stick. About 5 feet of extension. I used to carry that around with me, which made me look really stupid. It's like carrying a broom everywhere you go, or a mop. So, yeah, I stopped doing that. And now I have a police vest cam that I wear around my neck. I have it set up like it's almost like a necklace. And I do film with it, especially if I'm walking to the store by myself or somewhere like that. Sometimes even just to get the mail, but it's always on me, don't get me wrong. But I don't turn it on all the time unless I feel, that spider senses are tingling. And it's usually on, believe me. I just, even in the mornings, late, especially now, you'll have a lot of trouble starting right now until about 4 in the morning. It's after 5. I don't know what time it is exactly, but yeah, this is when the vampires and the crack stem victims and the wackos come out marching for dimes. So apparently he's either waiting for somebody, or I think the cops are like, you know what? I'm here, now what? Pull that shit in front of me. I think that's what they're doing. That police presence. Good. I'm so glad. I really am. The past week, they've sat under the windows, even during the day like it is now, and just blared music and just congregated here smoking weed and just yelling at the top of their lungs. And like I said, I am an advocate for medical marijuana and recreational marijuana. I don't think marijuana has ever hurt anybody as far as like DUI or killing someone in a car wreck or anything like that. I think alcohol's done way more damage. Now, to the person in general who's smoking it, yeah, it burns your brain cells out. You turn out to be a burnout. But you know what? If that's what you want to do, hey, I guess it doesn't hurt as much as beating your head against the wall. It's a slow kill. But so's everything else. Liquor, you know what I mean? Everything else we put into our systems. Too much coffee can kill you. Cholesterol, sugar, salts. So, and we put enough of them in our system, day after day to kill you off slowly too. So what's the difference? So I say, the more the merrier. You want a 420? Hey, 420, 520, 620, whenever you want to smoke, have at it. Now, with that said, I don't want to smell it. I'm an asthmatic. And most of the crap that they're smoking today, which probably isn't crap, it's hydro, it's really, potent weed. But God knows what these laboratories are spraying in it, on it, you know what I mean? Alls I know is the moment I smell it, my nose starts itching really bad inside, and it wells up. I cannot breathe out of my nose. Then I start getting a headache, and then I start hacking and coughing. So whatever's in that weed, there's something, just Agent Orange. I don't know what they're putting in it, but whoo! It ain't like the 60s and 70s when the shit smelled good. Now it just smells like, either a skunk's butthole or just chemicals. It just smells really bad. Which, again, I don't mind. Smoke it through some water, though. Blow it out the window. Use a fan to suck it out the window. Then you can smoke all you want. I won't have a problem with you or anybody. But yeah, something definitely is going on here. He's been sitting there for how long have I been filming? 11 minutes? I think it says 11, 16 minutes? 16 minutes, I think. I can't see too good, so I'm blinder than a bat. I do use binoculars because I can see peripherally out of the corners of my eyes a little bit. But I've worn glasses since I was 6 years old, so that tells you how bad my eyes are now. The prescription has changed, and of course, the older you get, the worse your eyes get. And I'm at that level where I can't hardly see. Everything's just a blur. I mean, I had to look 3 times at that police car over across the street to tell it was. I said, that's either the sun bouncing off a paint job or that's a police car. And I said, nah. I'm talking to myself sitting here or thinking, that ain't a cop car. I took my binoculars, and I have a pair that I use to, be nosy, see what's going on. Because you got, like I said, you got to keep your head on a swivel here. You got to be aware of what's going on. I don't want to walk out to check my mail and walk into a hail of bullets. So I really got to, you know what I mean? But I looked at it. I said, that's a cop. And I picked up my binoculars. I said, oh, Lord, I got to film this. So, yeah, they are making their police presence known. And that's a good thing. You can't go wrong with that. Keep the kids off the corner. Let them go do something productive. I mean, I guarantee you, they'll when I lived in Phoenixville, they would chase the kids off one corner, then they'd go to Wawa. And the big thing there was they were dumping bleach on the ground and then doing smoky burnouts on top of the bleach. So they were doing donuts and smoky burnouts at the high school. Then they go to Wawa and do it. Then they come in our neighborhood, trash in our neighborhood. We lived across the street from a bus company. They went back there and smashed the windows with beer bottles. I mean, they were just, kids looking for something to do, and that's what they chose to do. And of course, 9 times out of 10, the kids wouldn't get in trouble or fined for it. They would just get chased from, one area to the next to the next. The cops would keep them on the move, which I thought was kind of strange. They should have, pressed a couple charges. Now, the bus company had cameras. They caught them doing that, so I don't know if any charges were pressed, but they had them on camera. And there was like 15 of them in a pack just walking around, just looking to destroy something. So that's the world we've created nowadays. And these were older kids, too. They were knocking on their late teens and the early 20s. They weren't youngsters like, 12. This was 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night they were doing this. That was just one incident. They did a bunch of other things. We lived at the bottom of a hill, and they would fishtail down the hill in the wintertime, especially when it snowed or sleeted rain or, slick. And numerous times they would deliberately fishtail. And they'd almost run into the back of a bus or, you know what I mean? Because they worked on their buses right there. They had a garage, and sometimes the buses would stick out of the garage itself. About maybe 10 feet, something like that. And, yeah. I caught that on camera many times when I lived in Phoenixville. They were just some wild childs. Wild childs. And again, I think, a lot of it has to do with, we got a beer garden in this town. They closed up all the bars. There's nowhere for these kids to go. There's no recreational hall. There's no movie theater. There's no, you know what I mean? Nowhere they can just go and hang and just meet other kids. And you know what I mean? No skating rink. No, you know what I mean? So when you take away all the benches and so the old people and disabled can't sit down, and you take away most of the restaurants and the bars, there's nothing to do in this town. So what you get is this. You have to have a personal bodyguard sitting outside your building. It's ridiculous. And I didn't call him, so. But I am, on the same coin, very glad to see him. Like I said, I got nothing against the police. How can I say it? I'm not a snitch, and nor would I talk to a police officer. I would ask for a lawyer first, because all they do is get you to incriminate yourself nowadays. As far as trusting a cop, no, zero trust. Now, with that said, I consider them still, the boys in blue. They're friendly. They do if they're doing their jobs, I wouldn't certainly stand in their way. I constitutionally don't have to help them in their investigation, and I would stand on that, plead the fifth, ask for a lawyer. Especially if it came down to seeing some kind of crime to where, there'd be retaliation if I did say something to the police. You got to watch what you say, because these drug dealers will come after you. So as far as the po-po, I'm all for them doing their jobs, but don't make me a part of it. You know what I mean? I'm not your snitch. You don't ask me nothing. I don't know anything. Don't ask me to do your job for you, in other words. You should be here. They should have been doing this at the start of all this warm weather. They should have known these kids would congregate here. They should have been here already, like this gentleman sitting here. Sorry to say that, but, there's no meter readers in town no more. I haven't seen a meter reader. They used to come up and chalk tires if you parked too long at a certain area. They used to, come by and check vehicles, and, you know what I mean? This place is a zoo now. I mean, a zoo. And I guess, it does probably boil down to funding and not enough manpower on the job. I get that. I understand that. But, when are you going to take back control of the city, the town, the streets? You're just going to let people run wild and do what they want because you don't have a meter maid anymore? That's ridiculous. You start handing out some fines, and here comes this loud bike. You start handing out some fines, I'll bet you that would, one, create revenue for the city so you could patch some potholes, and two, it would scatter them like cockroaches. They'd have to go somewhere else. I mean, that's just a general idea. I'm not, no genius when it comes to solving political problems or even, township problems. But my gosh, you got to do something. Doing nothing is the opposite. That's, apathy is you're just as guilty as the crooks. You're letting it happen. The drug dealing and the just debauchery and the lasciviousness and the nefarious stuff that goes on. I don't want to cuss. But you know what I mean? All right, I'm going to shut this off because apparently he's going to sit here for a while. That's good. Like I said, I'm happier than, you know what I mean? Pig and poop, as they say, I guess. I don't know if pigs and poop are happy, but hey, they look it, don't they? They ain't trying to get out too quick, so. So anyway, there you go. I don't know. I just can't figure this one out. What they're up to. If he's looking for somebody or he's just making his I'm here, you know what I mean? And it is like I said, it's intimidating to the drug dealers because the Bible even says an evil man will run when no one pursueth him, which means, I translate that to mean, the ones that scatter are probably the ones that are up to no good. And if you don't see them on the block now until he leaves, then you'll know who's up to no good. All you got to do is sit here and watch. So what they need to do is put him here as kind of like the bait and a trap, and then set it on marker somewhere. And then when you see the ones that come back on the block, you know they're the ones up to no good. They leave while he's here. Ain't hard to figure out. And I'm sure they have their snitches in town telling them, you know, Robbie's up to something, Jimmy's up to something, you know he's dealing, right? I mean, I'm sure they're running to the popo and telling him that stuff, but... So, yeah. Oh, I thought he pulled out. It was another car. Or is he pulling out? I can't tell. Camera starts playing games with you. It starts going in and out of focus, and my eyes are already strained and not seeing clear. So yeah, so I'm glad they're here. Anyway, anything I say from this point is just going to be babble, but yeah, I'm glad they're here. That's all I got to say. I hope they come back more. They can come in my house. You can knock on my door anytime you want. As far as now he's pulling out. Maybe he's going to catch somebody. But as far as being friendly to the police, they can check on my welfare or well-being anytime they like. I am disabled and I'm an older gentleman, so come find me. You know what I mean? If that chases the people that are peeing and pooping at the bottom of the steps as you come in the secured door, which is supposed to be secured but broken now because they took the lock off of it. It takes the hooker sign down off the back fire escape door that says no hookers allowed the back way. Yeah, come on in and check on me. Whatever chases the crazies away. So yeah, you can knock on my door 12 times a day. You're always welcome. Now, if you're serving a warrant, you got to bust that door in, son. So it works both ways. Now, all right, that's it. See, I'm babbling. All right.